What's up guys, it's Timo here and welcome to a very exciting brand new Liverpool transfer news video. And you might ask, why is there a transfer news in the middle of the season? But actually, Liverpool target Timo Werner has just signed a new contract with Leipzig, and you think that's bad news, but no, it's actually very good news because his release clause is very low, just 30 million euros, which is like 26 million pounds. And I think that's one of the reasons why Timo Werner actually agreed to sign this new contract. The Kicker newspaper in Germany are reporting this, and basically Timo Werner just got a big pay rise because of this new deal. He is now the top earner at RB Leipzig, who started the season on fire, winning all their games so far. And also Timo Werner has scored in both Bundesliga games, 1 goal each to start the season. And now that his release clause is 30 million euros, a lot of top clubs can pay that. So it will be still up to Timo Werner to choose which club he plays for. So I think this is brand new, great news. So I will give you all the details. And guys, if you enjoy these Liverpool transfer news videos, leave a like. It just takes 1 second for you guys to press the like button. Subscribe and turn on the bell notification if you are new to my channel, so you never miss the latest Liverpool news videos. And basically, Timo Werner, according to Kicker, really wanted to leave RB Leipzig this summer, but there were no clubs who would want to pay big money for a player who just has 1 year left on his contract. But this contract, of course, changes it. According to Kicker, his new contract includes a release clause of just 30 million euros, which probably explains why he changed his mind. Because previously he didn't want to sign a contract extension because he wanted to leave Leipzig either this summer or next summer. But this 30 million euro release clause basically guarantees him an exit. Any top club will pay that, and at least his club Leipzig gets a good compensation fee for his services. And Manuel Weth, who is a journalist, shared this on social media. Timo Werner now is the top earner at RB Leipzig, according to Kicker. The magazine also writes that his exit clause is 30 million euros and not the 60 million euros that Bild reported. Bayern Munich, in the meantime, were pretty sure that they would land him on a free transfer next summer, according to Kicker. So this is a big blow to Bayern Munich, because now there will be a lot of clubs interested in Timo Werner, Liverpool being one of them. Jurgen Klopp, I'm sure, is a big fan of Werner. He watches the Bundesliga very closely. And Bayern Munich wanted to do the same with Timo Werner, the way that they signed Leon Goretzka. Goretzka was a huge talent playing at Schalke, and when his contract expired, they bought him for absolutely nothing. They signed him on a free transfer, and Schalke got no compensation for that. And I think that was a pretty brutal for Schalke, because Goretzka is now worth probably 50-60 million euros at least. Timo Werner, I think, is worth a lot more than 30 million euros, probably 50-60 million euros at least. And the way that he has been scoring goals for Leipzig now for 3 or 4 seasons in a row, he has been Leipzig's top scorer, around 20 goals a season. That's what you expect from Timo Werner every season. And he actually started the season so well, scoring in both games for Leipzig, where they won both games, scoring 6 goals in the process. Timo Werner scored 2 of them. And this new contract for Timo Werner could change the dynamic in the race for his signature, because there is an argument that Liverpool could be more likely to sign him now than before he signed this new contract with Leipzig, as Bayern might be put off by having to pay a transfer fee. On the other hand, Liverpool, of course, have a lot of money in their cash reserves, having not spent any big money on any big players this summer. We will have a big transfer window next summer, so we can easily afford the 25-26 million pound transfer fee that is the release clause of Timo Werner. And even though, you know, Werner signed a new contract, don't expect the transfer rumors to subsidize anytime soon. I think a lot of clubs will be very interested in Timo Werner, and I think he could be a very good player, very good striker to play for Liverpool. Of course, there is the big question, where would you fit him in? But I think we need a very, very good backup striker like Timo Werner, somebody who is almost on the same level as Firmino, because we are competing against Manchester City and they have an almost perfect squad. They have Gabriel Jesus behind Aguero in the pecking order. And Liverpool don't have that caliber of striker. Origi is a very good player, but he's not on the level of Timo Werner and Gabriel Jesus, in my opinion at least. So I think Liverpool would make a good move by strengthening their overall squad. And I'm sure that with Liverpool being involved in a lot of competitions every season and being, you know, a top club, we want to win all those competitions. Timo Werner would get still a lot of playing time at Liverpool. And you also need to think long term. Firmino is now 27, 28 years old, so in just 2 or 3 seasons he will probably start declining a little bit. On the other hand, Timo Werner is just 23 years old, and we could get a long-term replacement for Firmino. For the next 5, 6, 7 years, we would have a major striker on our books, Timo Werner, who could bang in easily 20, 25 goals a season. I mean, he played now 3 seasons at Leipzig and he scored 21, 21 and 19 goals in those 3 seasons. So a pretty consistent return, and now he has 2 goals in 3 games already this season for Leipzig, and he also has 10 goals in 25 matches for the German national team. So this guy is a very consistent, very reliable striker, and this is what Timo Werner said after signing his contract extension in a Leipzig interview. And I quote, "I'm glad that I signed with RB Leipzig and thus extended my contract. Of course, this process has been going on for a very long time, but I really wanted to be completely sure that I could take the next steps in the development of this club. And for the right reasons, you just need a little longer. Now I can fully concentrate on playing with our team, as successful season as possible." And of course, Timo Werner has been the Leipzig top scorer for the past 3 seasons. So RB Leipzig managing director Oliver Mintzlaff said this: "We are glad that the negotiations with Timo Werner have now come to a positive conclusion and he has decided to extend the contract with us. We have had many intensive discussions over a long period of time and have been very attentive and valued by Timo. We are glad that we now have clarity and are pleased that Timo Werner remains an important part of our team. He had come under the watchful eye of Bayern Munich this summer, but they never made a formal offer for his services, which would have had to be around 50 million pounds to reach Leipzig's valuation." And of course, Liverpool were also in the running to sign Werner after Bayern cooled their interest, but a deal never went through because Liverpool didn't want to pay like 50 million pounds for a player who has just 1 year left on his contract and who would be able to sign for free next summer. But now, with his new contract and having a release clause half of the 50 million, I think Liverpool made a good decision. All is left now is to convince Timo Werner to join Liverpool instead of Bayern or any top club, and I don't think that will be very difficult because Bayern have Robert Lewandowski, and Lewandowski looks like in tip-top form. He scored a lot of goals already at the beginning of the season, and it looks like that nobody can move Lewandowski out of the way. On the other hand, Liverpool could line up in a formation where Timo Werner is the main striker, Firmino is behind him, Salah on the right, Mane on the left, and we could attack the bottom 10 teams at least with that formation, in my opinion, without a problem. And Timo Werner would get to play 20-30 games in his first season, and then we could increase his game time bit by bit every season, so I think that shouldn't be a problem. Leipzig sport director Markus Krösche said this: "Of course we are pleased that Timo Werner has decided to extend his contract with us and to continue the path we have taken with our club. This is a very positive signal and also underscores our goal of tying our core employees to us in the long term and permanently establishing ourselves in the Bundesliga." Of course, that was a far-reaching decision for his own future as well, and for that reason he took the necessary time for it, which we also gave him. So of course they are giving this PR talk of you know, seeing their future with Timo Werner. But I think the release clause basically guarantees it that Timo Werner won't stay at Leipzig for many years, in my opinion at least. But we shall wait and see. I found a very interesting interview on what Jurgen Klopp said at halftime when Liverpool came in at 1-0 up at in the Liverpool-Arsenal game at halftime. This is what Jurgen Klopp said. Okay, but how do you think the Arsenal players feel? Because it was an intense first half, but Arsenal had to make all the runs as well. Sure, we did the runs, and that means so did they. And the tempo we put in the game from the beginning was really incredible. There was no time to breathe. Adrian catches the ball, throws it out. Now go, Andrew Robertson gets the ball. Oh really, again, we did it consistently. And I like that. Other teams do not. There was a marked drop in performance level for Arsenal after halftime, and Arsenal only sparked back to life in the final 10 minutes when the game was pretty much over at 3-0. Arsenal just couldn't handle the intensity of Liverpool. Liverpool's constant running, their power, their energy, their tempo. And when Jurgen Klopp decided Wijnaldum has done enough, he misplaced just one pass the whole game. His replacement was James Milner, who is also a relentless runner. You know, it is a brutal way of winning, which is perhaps why some observers believe that Jurgen Klopp's team cannot sustain it across a whole season. But I think we showed in the last season that we can sustain this brutal intensity throughout the whole season. Of course, not in every single game, but I think the intensity has been there in Liverpool's game in like 80–90% of the games. Of course, there is the big question: while Liverpool break other teams, will Jurgen Klopp's intense strategy ultimately break Liverpool? Jamie Carragher's suggestion at pitch side that he might have considered resting Mane for this game. Jurgen Klopp said, "I would love to hear Jamie Carragher if I had left Sadio Mane out. This punditry is a world-class business. I have to think about it if I do it after my management career, because you can say whatever you want and you always put a finger on something. So yes, we try with Sadio Mane. I did it today. I took him off, and he doesn't have to go away on international duty this time, which will help him. We have an eye on it. You have to ask the players, and that's important as well, how they feel, how their physical shape is. As long as I see in their eyes that they really want it, and I see it in our session in midweek, then I know it's about having that intensity always. We still only train 2 hours a day, and in pre-season 4 or 5 hours, but it's not training like you're always exhausted. It's making you stronger, more resilient, and if you win, you don't feel it like you do when you lose." That's actually a very good point by Jurgen Klopp. If Liverpool keep winning, they won't get tired as much as if we draw or lose a game. And I think the only way that Liverpool can win the title ahead of Man City is if we go into every single game with the maximum intensity that we can afford physically and mentally, because Man City won't let up. They will try to win every game between now and the end of the season. Liverpool have to do the same, and we have to aim to get to 100 points. We can't drop points in more than 6 or 7 games, because Man City probably won't drop points in more than 6 or 7 games. But my only hope is that Man City maybe get an injury to Aguero or get an injury to Laporte. That's the only way where I see them having a blip, because yeah, Gabriel Jesus is not as good as Aguero, and he won't score as consistently. Or God forbid, if they get an injury to Raheem Sterling, that's another key player that they probably can't really replace. I mean, Mahrez is a good player, but he's not on the level. Man City having Leroy Sané already out injured is, I think, as a big plus, as unfortunate as it is for Man City. It's a big plus for Liverpool, because I don't think they have another player on the bench as good as Leroy Sané, who can change the game as quickly and as decisively as Leroy Sané. On the other hand, I think Liverpool also doesn't have a squad as good or as wide as Man City, but it's going to be a very interesting season to see how Liverpool cope with everything. And now let's talk about this retirement talk around Jurgen Klopp. So Jurgen Klopp told Germany's Kicker magazine, "I have absolute energy, but I have one problem. I can't do a little bit. I can only do all or nothing. When I decide that I cannot do it any longer, then I will take a break for a year." I think after that year, a decision must then be taken. But chances are very high that my energy level will then be there once more, and that I can then do the job they want the way I want to. So that hints that after Liverpool contract with Jurgen Klopp ends in 3 years, he will take a 1-year break. What I think Liverpool should do, in my opinion, is negotiate a contract with Jurgen Klopp that guarantees him that 1-year break. Let's tie him down on another 3 years with Liverpool, and for that 1 year we could have Nagelsmann or even Steven Gerrard or Pep Linders, the current assistant manager, become just a temporary manager for Liverpool for just 1 year, because I think that 1 year will be like a free pass for the temporary manager, whoever that may be, because we know that Jurgen Klopp is coming back in 1 year, so that probably lifts the pressure on somebody like Gerrard or Linders or anybody else. And I'm not sure a big name manager would come for just 1 year if he knows that no matter how well he does, after 1 year he will be out of the door. And I think mainly because of that scenario, I would prefer it to be Linders, the assistant manager, because for 1 year I'm sure that he could do a fine job. And then after Jurgen Klopp gets a 1 year break, he gets you know, rested, and he goes on holidays and everything, spends time with his family. But I'm sure that Jurgen Klopp will miss being a manager, being on the sidelines, and the intensity of the Liverpool job. And after a 1 year break, Jurgen Klopp could come back and become the permanent manager again, and that would be, I think, perfect for everybody. I think it would be good for Liverpool, for Jurgen Klopp himself, for the fans. But it's a big if Jurgen Klopp accepts that scenario. I'm sure that the owners would be able to work out a deal with Jurgen Klopp. If we got enough money, and we should do, we should put that proposal down to Jurgen Klopp and then see what he says about that. But I'm not sure if he wants to go on a new challenge, on a new adventure, maybe manage again in the Bundesliga, maybe manage the German national team. I can see Jurgen Klopp do that. Maybe manage a side in Spain, but I'm not sure if he speaks any Spanish. So it's going to be very interesting what the future holds. But for now, let's just concentrate on these next 3 years with Jurgen Klopp, including this season, and try to win as many trophies as possible and see where that takes us. It's going to be a great ride. And Jurgen Klopp told the media in his post-match press conference about the Arsenal game. It was all round a really good performance, and Joel Matip, for sure, it was his best game of the season. People spoke about our defending. We work on our defending, but not in the way people probably expected. It's not about the last line. It's a common thing. Defending in the Premier League doesn't work if you talk to each player and tell him you have to do this and that differently. We worked really hard now on that, of course, like we always do. But this week we had the time to do it. From a defending point of view, it was for sure the best game against an incredible threat like Arsenal. One chip in behind, like the chance for Pepe in the first half, was pretty much... It was not even a good pass. Henderson missed the ball, then they had the big chance, and we needed Adrian to save us. Very good again. But apart from that, we really defended very well. The goal happened when everybody was in the box. That's nothing to do with defending. As we say in Germany, it was, I have him, you can take him. But at the end, nobody has the guy. I'm really overly happy. It's pretty much the last time for ages. We will use that. I'm looking forward to the week again. Burnley, we all know how tricky that place is. They are in a good moment, their play style, they just continue doing it. I have the biggest respect for Sean Dyche and what he's doing there. It is always so tough to go to Burnley. We need to prepare that. We will do that, and then the boys fly all over the world going for their national teams. Hopefully they will come back healthy, and then the rest of the season starts pretty much. So it's an exciting time to be a Liverpool fan, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, goodbye!